Sino naririnig?
May ilang nga siya eh. Kasi magsasalita siya eh.
Ay, hindi siya, ma'am. Kailangan pa siyang i-admit.
Ay, oo nga, no. May option dito eh.
I-trip lang.
Huwag yan.
Good morning, everyone. So, hintayin lang natin yung iba.
22 pa po bayan. Tapos ngayon lang naresibuhan, parang gano'n.
Values po.
22. Pero niresibuhan mo. Hindi ka naresibuhan.
Ay, hindi, ma'am. Late lang po na-resibuhan ko. Kasi may copy po kung saan na-resibuhan na po. Apo, ma'am.
Bakit sa akin naman?
Yung ano, ma'am? Okay. 10 minutes, ma'am, mapuputol yun. Okay, baka mag-stop mamaya mga 10 minutes. Paki-click na lang ulit ng Zoom na sinend ko sa inyo. Yung Zoom link.
Okay po, ma'am.
Okay. Four. Alam talaga. Ayan. Kahapon, ma'am, kahit 35 siguro pwede na mag-start na. Start na lang. Baka iba, hindi pa makakapasok eh. So, good morning everyone. Naririnig niyo po ba?
Opo.
Very good. So, our topic for today is genetics and the animal survival. So we have shared. Okay. Okay. So first, we will discuss the genetics. So what is genetics? So genetics is the study of heredity. So yung heredity naman, ito yung biological process whereby the parents passes certain genes onto their children of offspring. So yung genetics, ito yung merong variations of inherited characteristic. For example, yung human genetics, yan yung tinatawag natin. At saka meron tayong mouse genetic and the fruit fly genetic. So ito yung nagpapass offspring galing sa parents natin. So meron tayong structures and functions of DNA. So ayan. So the major functions of DNA is to include the sequence of amino acid, residues, and protein using the genetics code. So to read the genetics code, cells make a copy of stretch of DNA in the nucleic acid. So ito. Ayan. So merong rules yung genetics natin. So we have a genes are the set of instructions that determine what the organism is like. For example, the appearance, how to survive, and the how to behave it on its environment. So we have a genes are made of a structure called DNA. So ito yung tinatawag nating DNA. So there gives the instructions for living being to make a molecules called protein.
DNA factions.
So okay, so yung DNA, we have this structure of DNA. So as you can see, this is the structure of the DNA. This is a double helix. So it is molecule composed of two polynucleotide chains. So the coil around each other is to form double helix. Ito yung tinatawag nating double helix. So it carrying genetics instructions for the development, functioning, growth, and the reproductions of all organisms and the viruses. Ito yung structures ng DNA. At saka meron din tayo 4 na functions or rules ng DNA. So, meron tayo. Okay. The 4 rules of DNA, the replication, including information, mutations or recombinations in the genes expression. So, let's discuss the reflection first. So, DNA exists in double helical arrangement. Dito sa replication, yung DNA dito mag-i-exist yung double helical arrangement in which each base along one strand binds to the complementary base on the other strand. Siya yung nag-exist ng DNA. Tandaan nyo ha, yung replication siya yung nag-i-exist ng DNA. So, we have the encoding information. So, the base sequence is the A, T, C, and the G is the along the DNA strand. Ito yung sequence sa tandaan nyo, yung A, T, C, and the G. So, ano naman yung tinatawag nating ACTG? Yung A stand for adenine, yung C naman is the cytosine, G is the guanine, and the T is the thymine. So, ito yung tinatawag nating genetic code. Ito nakikita nyo. Ito yung genetic code. So, yung adenine, siya yung nag-use ng magpo-form ng nucleotides and the nucleic acid. Yung cytosine naman, ito yung, dito sa 4 na to, siya yung dito makikita yung tinatawag nating DNA at saka RNA. So, pag guanine naman, ito yung, siya yung most easily oxidized. So, yung thymine naman, ito siya yung, dito sa 4 na nitrogenous nucleobases that form building blocks of DNA. Ayan. Ayan, nakikita nyo naman ito yung cytosine, guanine, adenine, at saka the thymine. Next, we have DNA transcription. So what is DNA transcription? So transcription is the process by which the informations in a strand of DNA is copied into a new molecule of messenger RNA or mRNA. So DNA safely and stably stores genetic materials in the nuclei of cells as reference or template. So yung 10A transcription, ito yung first several stage or step of DNA-based gene expressions in which a particular segment of DNA copied into RNA. So by the enzyme RNA or polymerase. Siya yung first step. Next, we have a second step, the DNA translation. So yung DNA translation, we have the genetic informations, and DNA is used to bases to create messenger of RNA or mRNA by transcription. So single-stranded mRNA then acts as a template during translation. So yung ribosome, ito siya yung nagpapacilitate ng translations into the cytoplasm. So by inducing the binding of complementary transfer or RNA so okay naman. Sa ribosome, ito siya yung nagpapacilitate ng translation. So into the cytoplasm. So by inducing the binding of complementary, magta-transfer siya as a RNA or tRNA. So anti-codon sequence to the mRNA. So the tRNA is carry particular amino acids. So which are the linked together with the ribosome. So the process of RNA is decoded to produce a specific amino acid chain. So this is known as the polypeptide. So the folding of polypeptide creates an active protein able to perform functions within the cell. So yung tinatawag natin DNA translation, ito yung term na that used to describe the process of protein synthesis or by the ribosome. Siya yung nagpa-process nito. So in the cytoplasm of endoplasmic reticulum. So the genetic formation in DNA is used as a basis to create messenger or RNA or RNA. So by the transcription is the single-stranded or mRNA then acts of the template during the translation. Ayan. So ito dito sa DNA translation, dito nagpo-process yung tinatawag nating protein synthesis by the ribosome. Next, we have a ayaw mo siya. Oo. Okay. Next, we have the eukaryotic translation. So yung eukaryotic translation is what is we do transcription. So it's satisfyingly similar from the student studying point of view of from the evolutionary conservations one. So to the prokaryotic case. So the initial process is slightly more complicated. So but the elongations and terminations process are the same. But with eukaryotic homologous of the appropriate elongation is release factor. So yung tinatawag natin eukaryotic translation, ito is yung biological process is the messenger of the RNA. So translated into the protein to eukaryotes is consist of, meron tayong 4 na phases dyan. Meron tayong initiation, elongations, terminations, at saka yung tinatawag nating recycling. So first we discuss the initiation. So yung initiation, ito yung tinatawag nating beginning. So beginning, dito during initiation, dito mag-aano yung mRNA at saka yung RNA. So the first amino acid is all come within the ribosome. So dito sa stage na tinatawag nating initiation, nandito pa yung tinatawag nating first amino acid na together with the ribosome. Eh yung elongation naman, ito yung middle step natin. So nandito yung amino acid na mag-grow longer as more of the amino acid. Magdadagdag yung isang amino acid. So siya yung pero magki-create na siya ng polypeptide. So we have a termination. Ito yung final step na tinatawag natin. Dito yung protein magbabind as a DNA at its recognition. So ulitin natin yung tinatawag nating initiation. Ito yung during dito yung beginning, yung elongation middle step, at saka yung termination is the final step. Ito, then yung last is the magre-recycled na siya. Okay. Magre-recycle yung tinatawag nating DNA. Next, we have the next topic na tayo. We have the animal survival. Okay, animal survival. So, this is the animal diets. Okay. So, animal diets is the energy from feeding of converted to the adenosine triphosphate or ATP natin na tinatawag. So, we have two types of organic precursors. We have the organic carbon and the source of the nitrogen. So, i-discuss natin yung tinatawag nating organic carbon. So, example nito, yung mga nucleic acid. Yun. At saka yung fat, sugar, and the protein, enzymes, and the hydrocarbon. Meron tayong fuels at all organic molecules contain of carbon. So, nearby hydrogen and many also contain the oxygen. Yan yung mga animal diets natin. So meron naman tayong source of the nitrogen. We have the atmospheric, perceptions and the geological sources, mga agricultural land, the livestock and the poultry. So the operations are urban wasted. Yun yung mga example natin sa mga animal diets. Next, we have the essential nutrients rather. So animal requires 20 types of amino acids for protein productions. Pero yung hinahanap natin, meron lang siyang 9 amino acids needed for diet. Ito yung tinatawag natin. First, we have the histidine, isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, ito nakikita nyo naman, phenylalanine, and the threonine, tryptophan, and the valine. So itong 9 na amino acid, yung function nito, merong vital functions such as the protein synthesis, yung tissue repair, and the nutrients absorption. So, syempre meron tayong preventions of muscles loss and the improved mood and the sleep, athletic performance, and the weight loss. Yan yung vital functions or magiging prevention ng 9 amino acid na kinakailangan natin ng diet for the animals. Next, we have the essential fatty acid. Okay. Okay, so ito yung tinatawag nating essential
Essential
acid.
fatty
So
acid.
we have the unsaturated. Okay, unsaturated siya. So nagko-contain siya ng
Critical
more double bond.
present
At
components
saka human require
for many body function in structure.
Sino yung
DNA
nagsasalita? So human require linoleic acid to synthesize the phospholipids in the cellular membrane. So for example dito, yung sa essential fatty acid is the seeds, grains, and the vegetables are the sources. So meron ding deficiency areas. So for example dito na deficiency is the progeria. Ito yung progeria, yung tinatawag nating genetic conditions that occurs as a new mutations with characterized by the dramatic appearance and guide aging in the childhood. Yan yung magiging deficiency niya sa essential fatty acid. For example, pag lack of fatty acids. At syempre, bawal din yung sobra sa fatty acid. Di ba? So, next we have the vitamins. Ayan. So, vitamins, it is the organic molecules needed is very small amount only. So, we have a 13 essential vitamins for human have been identified. So we have a water soluble and the fat soluble. So the excessive fat soluble vitamins are stored as fat become toxic over time. So dapat maintain lang din. So we have dapat yung gagamitin nating vitamins is very small amounts only. So next we have the minerals. So ito yung minerals, it's very important. So minerals, it is the inorganic nutrients. So it requires vary among the species. So calcium is the essential for nerve functions and the preserved bones. So this yung pinaka-importante dito is the calcium kasi siya yung nagbibigay ng function sa ating nerve at saka sa ating tinatawag nating mga bones. So next is the magnesium. Siya yung naman yung needed to split the ATP and the ADP. Yan yung meron tatlong very important na minerals. Next, the iodine. So yung iodine is needed to synthesize the thyroid hormones. Okay, yan tandaan yung tatlo, yung tinatawag nating pwede nating matandaan sa acronym, the CMI, the calcium, magnesium, and the iodine. So ulitin ko lang, yung function ng calcium, siya yung nag-essential sa ating nerve at saka sa bones natin. Yung magnesium naman, siya yung kinakailangan siya para mag-split the ATP to ADP. Yung iodine naman, siya yung nag-synthesize ng thyroid hormones natin. Okay. Next, dietary deficiency or undernourishment. Okay, yan yung tinatawag nating malnourished. Ayan. So, ito yung nakikita nyo sa image, ito yung tinatawag nating lack of chemical energy. So, body use up of carbohydrates and the fats. Ayan. Nasubrahan na siya sa tinatawag nating carbohydrates and the fats. So, then protein are sources of fuel. So, yung muscles natin magdi-decrease in size. So, yung brain natin mag-become protein deficiency. Ayan. So, magkukos din ito ng death, and so damage may be irreversible. So, ito yung tinatawag nating disorder na anorexia nervosa. Ayan, nakikita nyo. Okay. Next, we have the food processing and ingestion. Okay. We have the first stage is the acquisitions of foods, liquid form, ayan, liquid form to solid form, and the food instruction strategy vary from among animals. Meron naman tayong food processing digestion. Okay, so yung first, yung mouth, mag-e-ingestion sa mechanical and chemical digestion. So pupunta siya sa tinatawag nating esophagus. So then after ng esophagus, pupunta siya sa stomach. So siya yung magda-digest ng mechanical and the chemical digestion. So after niyan, bababa siya sa tinatawag nating small intestine. Ito naman yung ida-digest niya, yung chemical digestion, at ito yung mag-absorb. So yung next, after niyan sa small intestine, mag-absorb ng water yung large intestine. So after niyan, mag-ingest na yung rectum and the anus. Ayan, tingnan nyo yung sequence kung paano siya magda-digest. Start from the mouth, bababa ng esophagus, papuntang stomach. Then after niyan, magda-digest ng chemical yung small intestine. Yung mag-absorb naman yung large intestine at saka mag-ingest naman yung rectum and the anus. So the food is broken down into the small molecules. So yung fat, protein, carbohydrates cannot be directly absorbed. So hindi siya masyado ma-absorb. So the nucleic acids and the phospholipid cannot be directly also absorbed. So the large molecules cannot cross cellular membrane. So, hindi siya mabilis madadigest yung tinatawag nating fats and protein and saka carbohydrates. Next, meron tayo namang food processing digestion. So yung chemical digestion by enzyme is reverses to breaking down of the bond within the additional of water. So mapapabilis siya pag merong additional na water. So the enzymatic hydrolysis. Ito naman yung tinatawag nating polysaccharides is the disaccharides and are split into the simple sugar. Meron tayong polysaccharide and disaccharide. Siya yung mag-split ng simple sugar natin. So yung nucleotides split into the nucleic acid. So the mechanical digestion or precedence is the chemical. Ayan, so kagaya lang na in-explain natin dito sa first ay yung tinatawag nating digestion. Next, we have the food processing absorptions and the eliminations. Ayan. Meron ding absorption at meron ding tinatawag nating elimination. So, the cells take up the small molecules. So, the small molecules cross to the boundary of the small and large intestine and enter to bloodstream. Okay, so the elimination is the undigested material falls out of the digestion. So, elimination yan yung tinataano na siya undigested. Ito yung hindi natin madadigest. For example, yung mga matitigas na kainin natin yan, hindi siya masyado ma-digest. Mahirap siya i-digest. Kaya minsan sumasakit yung tiyan, yan ang dahil sa tinatawag nating undigested material passes by the digestive system. Next, we have the digestive component by the oral cavity. So, mouth and the salivary gland. So, the primary function is the breakdown of moistened food and start chemical digestions or itong tinatawag nating chemical digestions. For example, yung teeth, this is the mechanical. Yung teeth this is the mechanical digestion natin. Yung salivary, ito yung chemical digestion. Okay, so yung salivary gland, ito yung nagpo-produce ng amylase. Dito nag-start yung tinatawag nating chemical digestion. Tsaka yung naman yung mechanical digestion, yung tinatawag natin, yung teeth. So, ingestion sa the initial step of the digestion. So, yung mechanical digestion, mag-i-increase siya ng surface area for food exposed into the saliva. So, the presence of food is to the stimulates of nerves to reflex release of saliva. So, we have the amylase, mucin, and the buffer. Yung tinatawag natin sa saliva. Next, we have the digestive components or the pharynx and the esophagus. Okay. Dito natin makikita yung tinatawag nating throat region. So, the two passageway is the trachea and ito yung trachea yung tinatawag nating windpipe or nagko-connect siya sa ating lungs. So, the esophagus naman, ito naman siya yung nagko-connect sa ating stomach. Ito yung esophagus, ayan, nakikita nyo. Yan, nakakokonekta yan sa ating stomach. So, yung trachea, ito siya yung nagko-connect sa ating lungs. Ito yung trachea. Ayan, dito yan makikita yung trachea. Next. So, the epiglottis naman siya yung nagko-cover ng glottis or prevent food from entering the lungs. So, ito yung epiglottis. Ayan. Siya yung nagko-cover. Ayan. Nakikita nyo yung guhit na yan. Yan yung tinatawag natin epiglottis. Epiglottis na siya yung nagko-cover ng glottis natin sa loob. Okay, so meron naman tayong larynx. So siya yung upper part of respiratory tract or direct bolus to the esophagus. Ito, ayan. Siya yung natin tinatawag nating bolus na siya yung umaano sa esophagus natin. Ayan, nagko-connecta. Okay, so we have the digestion to the stomach. Ayan. So stomach is located below the diaphragm in the upper abdominal cavity. Ayan. Ito yung, dito yung tinatawag nating diaphragm. So, siya yung sa ilalim. Ayan, yung tinatawag natin stomach. So, dito nag-store yung food to continue digestion. So, elastic wall. Ayan. Elastic yung tawag dyan sa stomach natin. So, they secrete gastric juice to, okay, ingested food plus gastric juice, ito yung tinatawag nating chyme or chyme. Ayan. Ingested food and tsaka gastric juice. Next, ito naman yung tinatawag natin is the gastric juice. Okay, paano magre-release yung gastric juice natin? So, first we have the ingredients are kept inactive until they are released into the stomach. Yan yung ingredients ng gastric juice. So, we have the HCI. So, yung tinatawag natin HCI, ito yung hydrochloric acid. So, siya yung magre-release ng biparietal cell. So, yung extracellular matrix, we have the pH of the gastric juice is 2. So, meron tayong pH gastric juice. We have a 2. So, we have a low pH kills of bacteria, yung tinatawag nating gastric juice. So, yung pepsin naman, siya yung nagre-release ng sheep cells or ito yung tinatawag nating protease. So, cleaves peptide bond. Ayan, nakikita nyo, we have the simulation events and the inhibitory events. Ayan. Next, we have the digestion in the small intestine. Okay, meron na tayong dito, nabibilong dito sa small intestine. Ayan. So, ito yung liver natin. Dito naman makikita yung stomach. Ito naman yung common bile duct. Ayan. Siya yung parang kumakapit sa gallbladder natin. Ito naman yung gallbladder. Ito naman pagdating dito, ito yung tinatawag nating pancreas or tinatawag nating tail. Like a tail siya. Ayan. So, yung duodenum naman, siya yung nagko-cover ng ng pancreas. So, yung pancreas, ito yung head. May head naman. May tail at saka may head. Yung tinatawag nating pancreas. At ito yung sa gitna, yung parang ugat, ito yung pancreatic duct. So, the enzymatic hydrolysis of macromolecules. So, we have a 6-meter long, yung tinatawag nating small intestine. So, yung duodenum, ito yung first part where the chyme or mixes with digestive juice from pancreas, liver, and the gallbladder. Ito yung duodenum, siya yung first part. Okay, siya yung nagmi-mix ng digestive natin sa pancreas, liver, and the gallbladder. Okay, ito naman yung tinatawag nating pancreas. So, yan. Ito yung mas malinaw natin. Ito yung gallbladder. Ayan. So, yung pancreas natin, siya yung nagpo-produce ng alkaline solution or enzyme. Okay, and neutralize the chyme, yung pancreas. Siya yung nag-neutralize at siya din yung may trypsin. Siya din yung may chymotrypsin at saka siya yung tinatawag nating secreted into the duodenum in the inactive iron. Okay, ayan yung mas maginaw na image. Ayan. Okay. So, the liver and the gallbladder naman. So, yung liver and the gallbladder, ito yung bile contains bile salt or detergent or emulsifiers. So, magde-destroy siya sa non-function red blood cell. Okay, siya yung nagde-destroy ng functions ng red blood cell. So, yung digesting and absorbing lipids. So, yung bile, siya yung nag-store and nagko-concentrate ng gallbladder natin or siya yung, so, ayan. Okay. Siya yung nagko-concentrate. Ayan. Ayan yung gallbladder natin. Nakikita ninyo, yung liver, ito yung bile contains. Ito yung bile. So, siya yung nagko-concentrate ng gallbladder natin. Ayan. So, magbe-breakdown yung toxins and they produce bile, yung liver natin. Okay. Next, we have the absorption in the small intestine. So, we have a surface area, 300 meters squared. Ayan. So ito naman yung nakikita yung parang fingers siya. Ito yung tinatawag nating villi. Ayan. Ito parang finger. So, at saka yung maliliit, ito yung microvilli. So, ito naman yung tinatawag nating, ito parang brush. Ito yung brush-like appearance due to the brush border. Siya yung nag-absorb ng small intestine. So, ano kaya yung function ng small intestine? So, yung small intestine, siya yung nag-absorb ng nutrient natin. So, meron tayong passive transport at we have the active transport sa tinatawag nating small intestine. Ayan yung tinatawag nating small intestine. Okay. So we have meron tayong small intestine, meron din tayo large intestine. So mag-a-absorb siya with the end of alimentary canal. Ito yung alimentary canal natin. Ayan. Or transverse colon. Ayan. So we have a colon, cecum, and the rectum. So the sphincters control the movement of the materials. Siya yung nagko-control ng movements ng large intestine, yung tinatawag nating sphincter. So the appendix extensions of the cecum. Ito, nakikita nyo, ito yung cecum, siya yung extension ng appendix. Ayan, nakikita yun sa gilid, yung parang arrow siya. Yan yung tinatawag nating appendix. So the functions of the colon is siya yung nagre-recover ng liquid through the osmosis natin. Ayan. So, we have the peristalsis, yung tinatawag natin sa large intestine, na siya yung nag-move along the large intestine. So, we have a 12 to 24 hours na mag-move along. So, mag-move siya through peristalsis. Ayan. Mag-move siya in 12 to 24 hours. So, for example, dito pag meron tayong disorder or deficiency dito, we have a diarrhea and the constipation. For example, yung maglalabas dito is yung kulay. Okay, so yung cellulose fiber, we have a no caloric value. So yung rectum, the last portions of the colon. Ayan, nakikita nyo. Cellulose rectum. Okay, ito yung rectum. Siya na yung dito sa pinakailalim. Siya yung sa ilalim ng colon. So the sphincter between the anus and the rectum. Siya yung pinakababa. Yan. Dito nalalabas lahat. Sa anus. Okay. Okay, so any question? Okay, naintindihan po ba? Okay, any question about genetics and the survival of the animals? May naintindihan po ba? Di ba ma'am nakamute na to sila lahat?
Pwede mag-unmute na lang sila ng question. At gusto na lang sa
Okay, kung sino yung gustong magsilita, paki-unmute na lang po. Or sino yung merong question? Naintindihan ba? Parang walang may nagtatanong ah. akin na merong nakakaintindi daw. Paano mag-unmute sa kanila lahat, ma'am? Ito, di ba? Mute all.
Unmute all ako.
Okay, so see you sa next topic natin. Meron tayong ano doon sa survival ng plants naman. So yung natakal natin yung animal survival. Next topic natin, next meeting is yung plant survival naman. So pag wala ng question, okay, mag-start na kayo mag-study ng studyhan nyo ulit yung week 11 to 12. So, wala namang question. Okay, goodbye.
Ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye po.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye
Bye,
po,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Morning. Love you, ma'am.
Okay, mag-study na kayo week 11 at saka 12.
Sige po, ma'am.
Okay.
May attendance na, ma'am?
Yes, of course.
Thank you, ma'am. Good night.
Okay.
Pwede na matulog.
Ma'am,
Eh,
automatic na siya mag-record.